So g'day and welcome to game 1 in this lower bracket round 2 elimination series between ShenZhen and EHOME. EHOME dropping it down from the upper bracket yesterday after their match against CDEC. Going down 2-0. So they have probably a point to prove here, EHOME. Looking to show that they are still a team to mess with. A team that can put their best foot forward and hopefully in their shoes punish a team that they would think isn't really at their level. So the initial bans coming out, Broodmother and Enigma. We did see the second pick Brood yesterday. It was quite interesting with that sort of push strat that they had. In fact, I think it may have been an Enigma Brood opening or very similar to that.
10 seconds remaining.
EHOME decided to ban out the Doom and the Undying.
5 seconds remaining.
Doom super strong at the moment. Obviously buybacks are one way to counter that Doom, but you do have to have the buyback, and of course it expends it. So not the perfect counter, but it does work in a lot of situations. First round picks, Marcy, first pick for EHOME, responded with Death Prophet and Snapfire from ShenZhen, and then the Visage comes out as the second pick for EHOME. Picks and bans are coming actually quite quickly at the moment. Both teams not using really any of their reserve time so far.
10 seconds.
So with the Death Prophet and the Snapfire, this does open up for some good AoE control if you want to grab a Tidehunter, or perhaps a Faceless Void to double down on a bit of this AoE damage potential that's coming out from ShenZhen. They are both possible picks. That would of course mean the Death Prophet is mid lane and the Tide have to be around the off lane. A little bit unlikely. This first pick Death Prophet is normally in the off lane. Date Garland, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And you've caught the start of the first series that we're casting today.
Radiant team ban.
For EHOME, Marcy, we have been seeing increasingly put to that 3 position, trying to get a little more value out of the Unleash later game, ensuring that she does get the farm to get that BKB basher, that she can lock on to a single target and get the job done. Visage, though, tends to indicate that the timing of this EHOME draft, they want to go early. They really want to make sure that they keep ShenZhen on a tight leash in terms of the farm around the map, make sure that they're pushing in the towers.
10 seconds remaining.
You taking advantage of those birds and the early Vlads, just dealing enormous amounts of physical damage before ShenZhen can really come online with what their lineup is. Saying that though, Death Prophet does want to do a similar thing, just make a little more space on the map by taking down those initial tier 1s, and if you get a fight win near a tier 2, then just swing that exorcism into the tier 2 tower and get the job done. So both teams, although obviously different heroes early on the draft, both have a somewhat similar idea with how they want to play the game. EHOME will go ahead and ban out that Faceless Void. We'll get rid of that Faceless Void, which I thought would be a very good combination with this Death Prophet and Snapfire. In fact, just with these 2 heroes, you don't even need the Void to have farm. Just being able to drop down the Chrono and letting those 2 other heroes input their damage would be enough for a long time into this match. ShenZhen will ban out the Bat and the Beastmaster, 2 very similar heroes, both high single target lockdown, both vision orientated. So that's indicating to me that ShenZhen are planning on picking a pretty hardcore right now. They want to get a core that requires a lot of farm, and a core that can almost sort of like a 4 protect 1, and in a sort of 4 protect 1 draft, you don't want to be the one who has your top net worth hero just get blown up by a Raw or a Lasso. You'd be the one doing the interviewing. Oh, yikers. Date Garland, I hope you have good luck with being the interviewer, not the interviewee today. Hope that all goes well for you.
Ten seconds remaining.
Tiny ban as well from EHOME. Tide is still in the pool, but I think that's very unlikely with this first pick Death Prophet that it would come out for ShenZhen. Puck final ban as well, just making sure that they can't get locked down. It's another high lockdown hero. You think about Puck with the silence and the coil, you know, really stopping a core from farming, stopping that big carry that you want to do most of the heavy lifting in this game from getting off the ground. So very targeted bans in the second phase from ShenZhen. EHOME will grab the Shadow Demon. This is a hero I've been sort of wanting to get picked up a little bit more. Grab the Coddle as well. Oh, this is getting spicy right now for EHOME. So Shadow Demon, very good at saving a hero, but also good at setup. Marcy can rebound off the illusions as well, so just a small point that may happen at some point in the game. So with the Coddle, I'm thinking this has got to be mid, and there's that big carry that they didn't want to be locked down at all, ShenZhen. So getting rid of the Beast, the Bat, and the Puck, just trying to make this PA game a little bit easier. So with the Coddle mid, Visage in the off lane, it could be a safe lane, Aha, a la, you know, Bet Boom with the Dahak safe lane Visage, but just have to learn the Chinese meta at the moment, whether that goes to the safe lane or the off. My intuition is the off lane, but we'll just have to wait and see at the moment. Hoodwink was grabbed in there for ShenZhen in between the Snap and the Phantom Assassin. Well, good all-round hero, Hoodwink. That doesn't super excel at one thing or another, but a little bit of evasiveness, a little bit of lockdown, a little bit of burst, as most new heroes have these days. Final bans, it will be the Morphling ban, and probably another fairly hardcore when you look at the lineup that they have here at the moment for EHOME. Possibly even taking out the Troll. Troll matches up quite well against the PA, so taking out the Troll would be a possibility from ShenZhen. EHOME remove the Pango and the Ember, thinking that this Death Prophet definitely is a offlane, and that ShenZhen are looking for a mid-last pick. Both Pango and Ember, good chase heroes, good heroes to try and get on top of this Coddle. As a mid Coddle, you don't want to get caught. One of your huge benefits is that you can height around, okay, as the Coddle, and you don't want someone to be able to gap close on you. So Ember and Pango are very good at gap closing. End up banning the TB. That does leave the Troll in the draft, and there's only 2 stuns at this point. Snapfire with the Cookie and Hoodwink with the Bushwhack. It will be an Alchemist last pick. So EHOME sort of going all in on the greed on the last pick. They're pretty not greedy with the Coddle, Shadow Demon, and Marcy, assuming this Marcy is a 4. So overall, I like that last pick from EHOME. I think that'll get some good value. They should be able to provide some space for this Alchemist to get online and start farming really quickly. And of course, the idea with the Alchemist is not that you farm to 6 slots, that you can farm maybe 2 items really quickly and start applying some pressure to the map for the rest of your team. So you're a carry that requires less time to start giving back. That's the idea of the Alchemist. Last pick here for ShenZhen. Queen of Pain is still in the pool. Pretty popular at the moment, and does have that gap close that they might be looking for to get on top of this Keeper of the Light. In terms of other mid heroes that might be able to engage, they might just go for like a mid Primal Beast here. That could be another possibility. Just go for that mid Primal Beast. You can onslaught in, get on top of the Keeper of the Light, pulverize them into the ground, and try and get the burst that way. It would give them a bit more of a tanky front line, which they're sort of missing at the moment. Like Hoodwink and Snapfire, these are not 2 heroes that want to go in first. They want to be sitting in the back lines. And for the draft of ShenZhen, that's what I feel like they're really missing at the moment. It's the Death Prophet. That has to be the one who goes in, but you don't want to have to go straight in as a Death Prophet. Yeah. So here it is. Tanky last pick. So it'll be the offlane Dawnbreaker actually, and it will be the mid Phoenix Death Prophet. Keiko will have that Phantom Assassin, and then Hara on the 5 Hoodwink, and Snapfire being played by YP in the 4 position. For the side of EHOME, Shiro will have that one Alchemist, Echo on the mid Keeper of the Light. Zeal will have that Visage in the offlane, which leaves Planet on the pos 4 Marcy, and ZZQ on the Shadow Demon. So Shadow Demon potentially saving from Hoodwink's Bushwhack here, maybe even a stun follow-up from the Dawnbreaker. There's always good saves that Shadow Demon can pull out. Probably looking for an Ether Lens and a Blink Dagger, just to be able to get those saves from a little further back. So predictions for this game, I still think that ShenZhen are just missing a little bit of tankiness in the draft. Yeah, they did get this last pick Dawnbreaker, but I'm not sure it's enough. Dawnbreaker doesn't want to be the first one in either. Sort of wants to counter-initiate with the global. With the Solar Guardian. But if he's trying to save someone who's quite weak, then probably die by the time he gets there.
Genius.
So just quickly do our predictions here. I get a little few battle pass points there. Could be a level one fight here. Kaiko's leading out. We'll get the Obs Ward down, and they're gonna come up with the high ground. ZZQ. Smoke does pop. Kaiko's here. They get him with the 5-man Crypt Swarm. In they go. ZZQ is trying to run for his life, but the stun comes out, and the first blood will go onto the PA. Golem trying to run away now. The damage from the Zeal Visage. Soul Assumption, it does a lot. Phoenix with another Crypt Swarm. Multiple heroes. Dawnbreaker will go down. Phoenix still chasing through, just clicking off to the side the whole time. It's a 3v1 for EHOME to start this off. Actually, 3v2. Marcy just dying to the tower. Getting that free reset. Well, not a free reset, but wants to go get mana. Doesn't want to have to run back at this point. So, level 1 engagement. 3 for 2 in the end. Slightly favoring EHOME. I think losing the first blood though. So yeah, in the end, pretty even when we go to the lanes. In the mid lane, Phoenix playing the Death Prophet will be up against Echo on this Keeper of the Light. In the safe lane for ShenZhen, Kaiko on the PA, supported by Hara on the Hoodwink. They'll be laning against Zeal on the 3 Visage and Planet on the Marcy. And up in the safe lane for EHOME, Shiro on this pos 1 Alchemist, supported by ZZQ. They'll be laning against Dolm on the Dawnbreaker and the pos 4 Snapfire. A little bit of damage coming through, stun being charged up. Concoction. He's going to go over onto the Snapfire. Big full charge coming through. ZZQ with the clicks. They're still chasing down. There'll be enough harass, but won't actually get the job done. We'll force out a fair bit of regen. Psychotic Unicorn, welcome into the stream. How you doing? So, looks like there's going to be plenty of action on these lanes. Jump in with the rebound. Stun comes through. Planet not yet with the level 2. Zeal holding onto that Soul Assumption first for the time being. In the top lane, Shiro charging up the Concoction again. Who are they going to go on this time? We'll throw out the stun onto Dolm, just to make sure he doesn't self-stun himself. I'm pretty well, Psychotic Unicorn. How are you today? Bottom lane actually getting the kill over on the Hoodwink. Guess that damage from the Soul Assumption is just a little bit too much, and Planet hitting level 2 with the Dispose. Very strong timing on a Marcy when you hit that level 2. Back in the top lane. Disruption comes out. Not charging up the concoction though at this early point. Saving it up. We'll get the level in Greevil's Greed, so no acid spray to follow down on top of that disruption. In the mid lane, Coddle leading the last hits with 12 and 1 up against DP's 9 and 3. Should even itself out a little bit in lane. Once Coddle gets a few more levels, we'll be able to start farming creep camps very, very quickly with that maxed out Illuminate. One of the faster mid-heroes farming in the game right now. You get a good early game on the Coddle, which is pretty hard to have a bad one. You have infinite mana plus wave clear, so you then transition in the jungle and pretty much get whatever items you so desire. Looking at this bottom lane again, Planet, they have the rebound. Looking at who they want to go in. Rebound plus dispose. Planet's getting pretty low, so he has to be careful. We'll eat up a Tango just to give himself the opportunity to be able to go in. Is risky going in on about half health, but between the Hoodwink, Bushwhack, and the Acorn Shot, damage is nothing to sneeze at. Back in the top lane, Shiro getting close to level 3. Probably grab a point in the acid spray. Out comes the Starbreaker. We'll try and get the last hit on the range creep. It gets denied by ZZQ. Just yoinking that one out of Dolm's hands. Well played there on this Shadow Demon. Popping the clarity, making sure he's got enough mana to disruption and get out some Shadow Poison when needed again. It's actually the 2-in unstable concoction, so bottom lane. Baiko, he's being got on. The damage from the Soul Assumption. Planet, he's got another rebound. Don't even need it. This is a strong lane combo at the moment. Back in the top lane. Disruption. Shiro. Has to end up running away. With just that Celestial Hammer. Plus the follow-up Fire Snap and Scatter Blast. Really does get this Alchemist pretty low. The assistance to the Tango. He'll get himself back up healthy again. And get himself back last sitting in the lane. Echo on the mid lane. Hasn't got himself a bottle yet. Phoenix on the other end has, so Echo obviously not needing that bottle really with the Chakra Magic and can just start building straight in the Boots of Travel. You can see he's only 800 gold away from those Boots of Travel already. Just blasting down the waves and keeping the creeps under the tower for Phoenix, making it a little more difficult to last hit, particularly in those early levels. Dizzy Q 2 levels in Shadow Poison. Wants to play a bit more of the harass game here. I mean, that's the usual build for a Shadow Demon. The most damage effective. In the jungle, we've got the 2 supports saying hello. ZP's got the Scatter Blast damage. Out comes the Disruption. Banishes him away.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And YP will just run on through. Exorcism was popped in the mid lane. Tower's not really going down. There is a catapult wave coming in, just trying to zone at the moment, Phoenix. Push back Echo, but he doesn't know that YP's in the air. There's 3 heroes collapsing mid for ShenZhen. They really want this tower with the assistance of the catapult. In comes the Cookie. Scatterblast is available. Catches on to Phoenix. Throwing out the Siphon. Planet taking a lot of damage. Will eventually go down the last right click, but so will the Snapfire. Disruption coming out. Echo charging up the Illuminate. Damage will come through. Phoenix on the run. Hara is sitting to the side with another stun. They're going to turn back around onto this Coddle. It'll go down. Hara just biding his time with that Bushwhack level 2, waiting for the right moment. And his moment came. So both cores, 24 and 21, lowest in terms of last hits for their respective sides in the core department. But that will soon change once the Alchemist gets the levels in Acid Spray and hits up the jungle and starts to make a meal of any creeps that are there. We have a stack here. How many other stacks? Just the 1 stack. Nothing else in the jungle. Down in the ancient side. No stacks here. Stacks being formed No stacks at all for the side of ShenZhen at the moment, and just the one for EHOME. So not prioritizing stacks early. Obviously, you can't be careful with stacks that the other team doesn't yoink it away from you, and you end up not getting any of the gold, and you just make more for the opposition. Hara stalking around bottom, just to see if Zeal just steps out of line a little bit. So close, mid lane. You make a bit of a go in on Phoenix, but with the levels in the spirit siphon, level 4 with those 4 charges, very hard to bring him down with the 2 hero rotation. 3 stacks. EHOME are rotating with Echo. They're setting up. That's the 5 stacks. That's 5 stacks. It might be enough. Oh, the damage came out, but it wasn't enough. ZZQ hoped and prayed. Got those 5 stacks of Shadow Poison. That's what you dream of as this Shadow Demon player. Didn't get the job done. Exorcism. Exorcism was popped with an Arcane Rune, so not really going to get much out of it. Just going to farm up some creeps here in the jungle. Taking that stack away, actually, as we were just talking about. ZZQ trying to contest that stack just a little bit. Maybe you just get the XP at least. But it will be Phoenix that uses that Exo and claims out the jungle for the side of ShenZhen. Birds online for Zeal. EHOME in this bottom lane now become a lot more dangerous. With the birds online, Zeal has additional physical damage, also has the additional control with the stuns, but they're going in straight on top of him. Rebound isn't enough to save, but the bird stuns will slow down Zeal. Getting thrown away, disposed, double TP coming through. Dom will finish off with the Starbreaker. Thrown backwards with the blinding light. This Dawnbreaker will pay the price. Hara's trying to get away in the trees, but there's birds on top of you. There's no running. There's no running from these gargoyles. Or is there? Actually, just gets away. What happened here? They're over in the trees. I think they were just hanging out in the trees. While this is happening, mid tower did go down to Phoenix, of course, without the Exo, but it was used under the effect of an Arcane Rune, so up again in 10 seconds. Might surprise EHOME just a little bit when that Exo is available so soon. Not soon enough, though, to defend this bottom tower. Wood being placed out, actually immediately pinged. And maybe that would maybe spotted out and not get much value at all for EHOME. 2-man smoke. Hara's coming in with Phoenix. Level 4 and 3 on the Crypt Swarm. And try and collapse. YP gets in with the cookie. Follow-up stun from Planet. Birds will get the kill. Phoenix. Exo has been popped, but the counters just TP out. The Exorcism is used, and they actually lose a kill. These birds are even going to make their way out over the edge. Or one will go down. Zeal does have a resummon. Not sure he wants to use it right now. Oof. Phoenix close to getting that second bird, and now comes the resummon now. So Zeal to be a little more careful with the usage of these birds, these summon familiars for the time being. Now they're on 120-second cooldown, but in they go again. 2-man smoke, ZZQ with Planet, not yet level 6 on this Marcy, so lacking a bit of additional burst. Hara trying to TP out, you have to cancel it. In comes the Built to Travel off of Echo, and this Hoodwink, he's not hoodwinking EHOME at the moment. Good D-ward there. While this is happening though, let's switch over to our net worth. We can see Alchemist is currently 5th on the net worth chart, but with that maxed out Acid Spray and the 1 point in Greevil's Greed, as that will increase, he will begin to catch up. He's hitting up the stacks in the jungle. He's enjoying himself now. Look at all the extra gold. Already he's jumped up to 4th net worth, overtaking his POS 3. Planet has the Unleash online. So he's ready to fight. Probably not by himself though at the moment. The ward down. Not sure if that was scouted. Ah, yes it was. Daytime just caught Planet there running out, so immediate D-ward there from Hari. He says, thank you. I'll take that. Kuro's going in for the Radiance build first, so just the Phase, Bracer, Soul Ring into Radiance. Just the extra sustain with the Soul Ring and a little bit few stats for lane, and we'll get into that additional farming item. Obviously it is a farming item, but once you get the Radiance BKB, it becomes quite a strong fighting item as well. Planet 1-2-2 build, just 2 in the sidekick. Sometimes we see a maxed out sidekick by 7, just to enable them to hit a few creeps themselves just a little bit faster. The rebound and the dispose, not really good for clearing camps.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dolm, it's offlane at level 9, actually feeling pretty good about himself right now. 6k net worth, has the Ogre Axe going into BKB, possibly even the Mithril Hammer as well. I don't see it in the Quickfire, so I might even have that one already bought up. So very close to the BKB, about 1,000 gold away. Haro looking for just some more consumables at the moment. He might get spotted out here. He's wandering through. He's got to be careful. Like he will be okay. Phoenix, top net worth in the game at the moment, is close to a BKB, but look at this Alchemist go. He was 5th net worth, now he's 2nd. He's quickly closing in. This is what happens when an Alchemist is left to farm. Just an incredibly fast farmer. And the more points in Greeble Greed he gets, the stronger he will be. Planet trying to bait a little bit. Takes out the Sentry, and they charge forward. There's no fear at the moment. Zeal has the Wraith, not quite the Wraith pack, but the Vladimir's offering. Well, here it is actually. No, I stand corrected by myself. It is the Wraith pack, fully completed. 14 minutes in. And with that Wraith pack, they're going to try and pressure this tier 1 tower. Sidekick over onto the bird, give him that additional damage. Ara trying to slow down, did use the Bushwhack up again in 7 seconds. Echo pops the Spirit Form. Want to get as much use out of this Illuminate as possible, plus the Blinding Lights. Smoke from YP. Probably just a solo smoke at the moment. Hasn't actually got any wards on him, so yeah, not going to be able to get anything done at the moment with that smoke. Does keep himself out of trouble, but other than that, we'll head back and rejoin his team. Alchemist is now on this bottom lane. You can see level 4 in Greevil's Greed. He is absolutely ramping out of control right now. Cookie in, charging up. The Sharpshooter will connect with the break, but it's like ZZQ will just be able to shake it off, holding on to that disruption the entire time as well, if he really needed it. It's the AoE waves coming out at the moment. We got the Illuminate coming through. We got the Shadow Poison. There's a Crypt Swarm. There's a lot of AoE wave abilities. Even the Scatter Blast. Oh, here comes Planet with the rebound. Follows up with the Dispose. Unleashed to deal the additional damage. The birds are there for the lockdown. Planet now trying to run away. Oh no, he's not running away. He's still going in. Exorcism is popped on Phoenix. Trying to make use. Gets the BKB, but it's just to run away. So he can use the birds to jump on through. Zeal is tracking him. Can't get quite in range with the rebound for Marcy. Just with that, the level 2. I guess the jump range is the same on all levels, so that wouldn't make too much of a difference. Maybe just the cooldown not quite being there fast enough. So while this Alchemist is getting out of control, you might see now 9.7k gold just continues to farm faster and faster. Kaiko has the Battle Fury, so wants to try and out-farm this Alchemist a little bit, at least maintain farm. Work towards a BKB and a Deso. Zeal will go all in for the auras this game. Grabbing a drums afterwards. Already has the Tranquil Boots, so moving into the Boots of Bearing in the later game just to refill those drums charges. Add a little bit of additional benefits with the unslowable duration. Golem is slowed up, throws out the Starbreaker. Birds are forced to come in, but the BKB TP out. will save his life, but it won't save his BKB charge. That was the fresh 9-second BKB, and that is now gone forever. Never to be seen again in this game. For Dolm will be a fresh 9-second BKB. Out, the money continues to pile in. This time with the Ancients. See, with the Radiance going for BKB reasonably quickly. Very, very strong. Echo throws out the damage. Echo just out of range of the Dispose. Marcy's on the hunt, really trying to find him. Up to the high ground they go. Hara is staying on top. There's a big Soul Guardian coming through, stunning up onto the Alchemist, but the Radiance is in the middle of this fight. It's going to be dealing a lot of damage. Comes through with the 3-man swipe, and it's just walking away at the moment. Concoction. Shiro, he's starting to be the last man standing on his team. The ultimate, it's not going to be enough. It's running down, and he will die. Zeal coming back in with the birds. BKB popped onto Phoenix. Will be used just to TP out. Double stun. Maybe you can get a follow-up kill here, and they will get it. Grave Chill coming out. Birds rolling over the cliffs. We'll just slow him down again with a secondary Grave Chill. Maybe even try and get a deny to Rosh. Will it be enough? No, it won't. It almost looked like he juked that damage with into the fog. That was a little bit weird. Almost like a little invulnerable moment there. So it will be a 3-for-3. Both cores dying on both teams. The Alk and the PA going down. Alk dying on the top side here. Whilst the PA dying on the top side while Alk was trying to just battle up against the members of ShenZhen. Nick Dota 28, welcome into the stream. Yeah, hope you're enjoying yourself. DD Rune in the bottom lane, and thank you very much for the compliment. Shiro will just continue to farm. Now, almost 12k net worth. His next item will be the BKB. I mean, he was almost unkillable in that fight. With the BKB, he should have no fear at all. Now, I think it was a good call for him to come in and fight, even though he didn't have that BKB yet. His team certainly would have been overrun if he wasn't there to join, particularly with that Radiance, just AoE damage. A couple of concoction stuns as well. Dolm did have the fresh BKB in that fight, so down to 8 seconds now, and going in for a bit of a utility build almost here. Like he might have a Lotus Orb queued up. A little bit unusual. Normally we see sort of the aura build or the aura or the damage from the Dawnbreaker, but utility is actually the call. No, he's changing to a blink. He's decided no, the Lotus Orb, that wasn't the play. Shiro, they're under the cover of smoke. Turned off the Radiance as well, just to hide it a little bit. Don't forget to turn it back on. There it goes, charging up the stun. Krako's going to be stunned up under the Acid Spray with the DD. Shiro will cut through with the Blade of Restule. Popped for that additional 40 damage. The PA ceased to exist and straight into the Roche Pit with the birds. Alchemist hitting through. Wraith Pact. And there is absolutely zero contest coming out from ShenZhen for this first Roshan. I'm interested to see who they give it to. They will give it to Shiro, just securing this Alchemist game. It is a bit of a careful spot for the Alchemist in this game. You feel really strong. You've got the BKB, you've got the net worth lead, but at the moment it's only a 2k lead. You can still lose this lead quite easily and not really be able, once you lose that timing on the Alk, it's very hard to get it back. We've seen it in a couple of games recently. The Alchemist maybe dies once or twice, and all of a sudden, all that early momentum is just completely gone. Now, 20 minutes in, their team, the team of EHOME, is only 2k net worth ahead, with an Alk and a Keeper of the Light. Now, these two heroes are heroes that should have a lot of farm. Ultimate on the top lane. Solar Guardian coming through, following up the stun. Zeal will go down. Echo TP'd in. He's going to try and make a go of it, but he's TP'd in to his death. Mortimer's Kisses trying to cover a little bit in the background. Shiro does join the fight. Stunned, pushback underneath. There's an Exorcism right on top. Follow-up Cookie. He's not going to get the BKB off. That's the first life. But it's him against the world. BKB. He's trying to run away. Given the additional movement speed, Planet will just sacrifice his life, it looks like, to get his carry out. He will potentially go down in the back lines. Tossing, disposing away. Whip coming out. The chase is still over onto Alchemist. Marcy goes down. Shiro, he's still chasing. There's another Soul Spirit Siphon, and they get the kill underneath the tier 3s. Alchemist committing into the Blink Dagger, wanting a little bit more mobility, and just got completely locked down. So this is kind of what I was just referring to. EHOME, only 2k net worth lead ahead with an Alchemist and a Coddle 22 minutes in. You really don't feel like that's enough. And now the net worth lead swings back the other way. Oh, LowerBracket will actually die in the top lane there. Yes, getting the catch with the birds. It is a concern for EHOME that they lost that fight in a timing that they should be going quite well, with an Aegis to boot.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
If you're ShenZhen at the moment, Phoenix, he's got a haste rune bottled up, working into a Hex. Oh, I love this build. Absolutely love this build coming in on Phoenix on the Death Prophet. This is an aggressive build. This is a kill Alchemist build. Not mucking around here, not going for the Shivas, not being defensive, just committing straight in for the disable. Hoodwink. Soon we'll be getting the return Wraith Pact. Vlad's offering is available now, so soon we'll have 30% damage reduction on both sides. And Kaiko getting to use his Battle Fury. He's only 3k gold behind the Alchemist. Got a BKB, soon to have a Desolator. Shard will be coming after that as well. For that additional percentage-based pure damage. It's very strong, the Fan of Blades. In terms of the breaks, yeah, we got a really important one. The Visage. That Fan of Blades will break through that Gravekeeper's Cloak, and Zeal will become paper. He will cease to exist with the PA on top with the Fan of Blades popped. Him and the birds will die quite rapidly. And I would say at this point in the game, ShenZhen are in the box seat. Blinking in, silence with the suck on top, and it's too much. Zeal trying to come in with the combo around. Stun from Dome. Starbreaker not really getting through those early levels of the Gravekeepers. Phoenix being forced to run. The birds chasing. Shiro will actually self-stun, turns around, hides in the trees. Celestial Hammer scouts him out. But ShenZhen are happy with the kill on Shadow Demon. We'll head back to farming. Now, typically, maybe in an Alchemist game, you're a little bit scared to resort back to the status quo. We'll just keep farming because the Alchemist is going to get so much more value than you. However, since they've already taken a couple of decent fights against this Alchemist, it's advantageous. They can now have enough items themselves to accelerate their farm at a reasonable rate. Birds actually die there. Maybe a little bit of miss micro, not dropping them down or start leaving them in the Mortimer's Kisses. They will have to resummon. YP now has a 4-staff completed, working into the drums himself, so trying to counter the auras that are coming out from EHOME with the completed drums on Zeal. Not going to go into the Boots of Bearing straight away, considering he still has 4 drums charges available, but instead go for the Aghanim Scepter. We haven't seen this on the Visage in recent games. So silent as the grave, going invisible, going on the hunt. That bonus 25% damage when you pop out of the invisibility and the move speed. Top lane. Taco. Oh. Does make it out. Using that that BKB charge, fresh 9 seconds. It's now gone down to 8 seconds. So it doesn't want to really fight for the next 70 seconds. Deso is online, so damage is enough. Alchemist cannot withstand a Deso PA hitting him at the moment. He's got an AC, but it won't be enough. He's only 2,000 HP. He's reasonably low HP. Only 2.7 strength gain per level. And the 5-man smoke comes out from EM. Echo in the backlines now has completed Octarine Core, looking for a BKB. After that, Planet on the charge. Close to a BKB himself. They might want to just wait for that timing. If I spot that correctly, there is a DD in the bottom river. No teams have scouted that. Tier 1 tower falling in the bot lane. Sidekick over onto the birds, giving an additional 70 odd damage. It's certainly a lot of damage coming out from that sidekick on the bird. Pop the concoction, it's charging up. Waiting to see if they can catch someone. He's going to blink in, throw it over. Catches the Death Prophet. They want to follow up with the rebound stun, and Death Prophet just immediately dies. In comes Dom with the Solar Guardian. Zeal will protect himself. BKB just a TP away. No bashes on the team at the moment, but the tier 2 will fall. And the Death Prophet, who actually had the opportunity to pop the BKB, decided not to. Saw the stun coming in, had ample time, and thought, no, I'll save the BKB charge here. I should be able to live through, get the BKB off, plus the Spirit Siphon. But it wasn't enough. Just died in the burst. Planet with the level 4 rebound. It's a 2.1 second stun with 300 damage. It's very good. From a long way away, you can connect that stun. So EHOME just getting back a little bit of control in this game. You can see the Alchemist, 6k gold net lead for him at the moment, but it doesn't mean a whole lot. Pyko has enough for the shard. In fact, I think you might just buy it. Make sure he has that break effect. There's another 3-man smoke coming out from EHOME. With the DD, yeah, with the DD, it is expiring. I think it'll be gone by the time they make it to the fight. Maybe you might get a couple of hits off it before it goes. Radiance turned off, making sure not to aggro any creeps. Birds are leading through. Zeal trying to scout out what's going on. Woods will get taken down. Pyko throws the blur on, tries to blink away and will do. So just a smoke to remove ShenZhen a little bit out of their jungle, but won't want to engage into that low ground where they don't have a lot of vision. Chiro charging up the concoction in the mid lane. But Dome looks like he will be able to make it away. Even with that pesky Solar Bind to get off onto that high ground. Solar Bind, 7-second duration, very, very good. 8.5% slow per 100 units, so you just can't run with it. And 35% magic resistance reduction. That's a lot of magic damage, magic resistance reduction. Who names these things? Magic resistance reduction. That's like a tongue twister. Say it 5 times fast. Exorcism popped immediately. They're on top of the Alchemist. We'll get the BKB off in the backline, but it's not going to be enough. Dom gets in, and it is running stations for EHOME. Trying to get out. Phoenix coming forward with the Snapfire Cookie. I believe it's a shard version as well. Will die in the trees on Shadow Demon, and they certainly didn't expect this Alchemist just to get bursted off the bat with this AC and the potential misses from the Radiance. And this is what I mean. It's just not enough of a lead right now for EHOME running an Alchemist. Pyko has got online. He has the damage, and he's only going to get stronger from this point. You know, I think I'd rather have a PA with 17k net worth 30 minutes in than an Alchemist with 22k. Because the PA is going to have much more of an impact. Just careful. EHOME, they're posturing on this high ground. ShenZhen might just run across and take the fight, knowing that their Alchemist is dead for 14 more seconds. Oh, I'd love to see it. Ogre Seal Totem. One of the funniest new items, new neutral items brought in. Oh, he sent it back. He sent it back. Dom, what are you doing to me? Just gonna talk up this neutral item. Yeah, you're rolling around with it. It goes back to the Titan Sliver. Okay, I guess the Titan Sliver is the better choice. But the Ogre Seal Totem, certainly a lot of fun with the jumps you can do, getting over terrain. AC to counter the AC as well now. So, yeah, that early farm advantage that EHOME has been completely negated. Visage, quick farmer as well once he hits the level 6. Working now on the Aghanims. It's possibly actually just coming out. Yeah, it is. So you have the full Aghanims. They've decided that EHOME, this is less a game now about straight up brawl and more a game about trying to find pick-offs. With this Aghanim Scepter, that's what you're looking for. Some picks around the map. And into the Roche Pit they go. 4-man smoke, they know what's going on. Who's the target going to be? In comes the Mortimer's Kisses. There's a two-man stun. In comes Phoenix with the BKB, Exorcism, and the Shard breaks immediately onto Marcy. The Fan of Blades, they're trying to fight. Kaiko and Shiro, they're in the middle of the fight, fighting each other. Break out in Visage, he will drop himself in the middle of the fight. Phoenix trying to disengage himself a little bit. The Aegis will go over to Dom. In comes the Fan of Blades again, and Visage just disappears. ZZQ tries to get the cheeky TP, but it won't be enough. The Starbreaker finding him out. And this Fan of Blades, I think it's a little bit too good. 15-second cooldown, 3 seconds of break with 16% max health damage. Pure max health damage. 50 mana. Ice Frog. Anyone? It's certainly against heroes that break is affected by. You saw Visage, he was full health. He respawned from his own stone form, the shard upgrade that he has, and he went down very fast. It could sit by the break, and all of a sudden he's just a hero with, you know, 2,500 HP that a PA is hitting. Shiro just cannot live right now. He keeps trying to posture in the middle of these fights, trying to just bait the attention of ShenZhen, but he can't sustain enough to be able to turn around and fight. MKB is online, so the PA no longer has, you know, full immunity against the right clicks of the Alchemist. Dome. Bottom lane. It's wave clear against wave clear. Both are pretty good actually. The 4-man smoke coming out from ShenZhen. Aegis on Dome. He managed to get in the middle of the fight, but Kaiko, no fear now with the Satanic. He's leading the way. Drums are popped. They're running in. They spot it out. Jumping in, and Marcy will get saved. Solar Guardian coming in on top, will miss the stun. Actually gets stunned himself, but Shiro popping the BKB. Kaiko and Shiro on top of each other. Shiro has to run. Decides it's best not to keep fighting. Wraith Packs are down on top of each other, but the Visage will die under the stun of the Bushwhack. And the bird will fall as well, without the protection of the Gravekeeper's Cloak. Welcome in, Toskek, to the stream. EHOME in a little bit of trouble now in this game 1. Certainly probably the favorites coming into this match, but with an Alchemist lineup being down 6k gold, you are in a lot of trouble. As the tier 2 of EHOME will get taken down. Exorcism again in 98. After talking up Phoenix for going straight in for the Hex, he does actually go back for the Shiva's Guard. It has worked out. Of course, not so much the damage, but more the vision that Shiva's Guards gives, plus the freezing aura providing the 25% reduction to regeneration, lifesteal, and all heals. Really a huge impact against an Alchemist who's really just trying to heal through the damage. Now, when we saw Alchemist being really successful, it was when he had an additional healer behind him. You know, when you had an Alchemist with an Oracle or an Alchemist with a Chen, particularly Alchemist Chen was a combo we saw for probably the better part of a year last year. That combo being really strong, but the Alchemist by itself, the heals are just not being enough to sustain, and when you're starting to max out, this is the issue you get with an Alchemist.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That he's pretty close to being 6-slot at the moment. He might get a Strength Blink or an Agi Blink. Replace the Phase Boots with a Basher, but apart from that, he's pretty much 6-slotted, and you're losing the game with your almost 6-slotted Alchemist. The new kids on the block, ShenZhen, putting up a strong showing in game 1. We have seen this before, though. EHOME can potentially bounce back. I mean, they haven't lost this game yet, but it's not looking good. If we look up the graph, yeah, 83% win probability for ShenZhen. In fact, I'm surprised it's not higher. Being 9k gold down with an Alchemist and a Keeper of the Light who should be farming quickly as well. Certainly a pretty poor position to be in the game. And if we actually just ignore the gold entirely and look at the heroes, you know, gold becomes a little bit irrelevant once you make it past, like, you know, 40 minutes. There's going to be enough gold on people to have the items they need, the essential items online. And if we're looking at the PA, Dawnbreaker, yeah, Dawnbreaker, Death Prophet against a Visage, Alchemist, Keeper of the Light, I'm certainly favoring the side of ShenZhen here with the PA. The break is just incredibly strong on this Visage. Visage is essentially not a hero now. Gets hit by this break and he fails to exist. The only potential he has is to use the self drop once it comes out. But the problem is, with this Fan of Blade spell, it is only a 15-second cooldown. So incredibly low cooldown for such a high impact spell. Something that provides a break mechanic and pure damage. Smoke coming out now from ShenZhen. 4 men. Solar Guardian ready, chilling in the back lines. Will show on the lane to try and keep them a little bit unaware of this movement. Checking with the gem. Not going to see any vision on the high ground. We'll get rid of the sentry and that'll be pinged out from EHOME saying, yep, that's exactly where they are. We're just going to hold on our high ground for the time being. Chiro, he doesn't really need to farm anymore. He could give some Alchemists, some Aghanim Scepters over to his team. Don't think he has just yet. In fact, it's a little bit unusual. Zeal went for his own Aghanim Scepter instead of letting the Alch get it for him. But, you know, sometimes you just want it straight away. Actually, Alch purchases it up. Who's he going to give it to? The Coddle? No. Actually, here it is. The Shadow Demon has the Aghanim Scepter, so 3 charges of Demonic Purge. So, huge upgrade there for the Shadow Demon with the cast range of the Ether Lens. They're coming out. The smoke's moving into the jungle. The Wraith Pact is preemptively dropped. It's half duration. Might actually be a huge impact that is already on the deck. Maybe in cancelling blinks. You know, run into the PA. PA sees them. Fighting in the blur underneath. Birds scouting out the vision. Will start to go down. 1 bird will go. Chiro, Unstable Concoction, will try and just get their way back. Mortimer's Kisses will scout out the PA. Dagger comes through, but both teams deciding not to commit on this fight at the moment. Yeah, close to level 25, triple Stifling Dagger or the increase to crit chance. I think they both are pretty good this game, but probably just the increase to crit chance. Wants to really blow up this Alchemist, so having those additional crits available will really make a big difference for this PA. Bottom lane, they scout out Dolm, Aghanim Scepter from Zeal. X to follow up. Has a BKB available if he needs it. Maybe forced to pop it there. His BKB and the TP out will be just fine.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Interested there. I'm trying to see who has the... Oh, it is on the Keeper of the Light. Now checked every hero on their team except for the Coddle. I knew there was a Hex there somewhere. The Coddle with that Hex. And a Spell Prism. Not sure the reduction stack anymore, so potentially just the extra mana regen and attributes is all he's holding on to that for at the moment. Here comes another smoke. EHOME are desperate. They know their timing is soon to be over. If they have any timing at all, being 11k gold down. But they have to try and fight while this PA, before your PA gets way too strong. Charging up the Concoction, 2 seconds left. We'll get the stun onto Snapfire and get the pick off immediately. In comes Kyo. Lincoln's will be popped. Shiro's actually on top of him. BKB is used. Trying to fight back. There's an Exorcism as well. Getting all the Spirit Siphons, but in the hallway of death, they catch out the 2. Alchemist goes down along with the Shadow Demon. The ramp of doom there is just very long. Yeah, you start running back up, retreating up this ramp, and you are just very easy target. EHOME still potentially looking to fight. I'm not sure this is a great idea. The Exorcism still running. Phoenix will get cookied in with that little shard upgraded cookie. It's pretty good, the Fire Snap cookie upgrade, getting a single target Mortimer Kiss on top. And instead of going for Roche, which He's not up yet until 48 seconds. They're just going to go for the high ground. A few heals there. Dolm coming in, and the racks are now falling. As you would expect, 17k down against a PA. Very hard for you to fight in these engagements now. EHOME's only real chance was to possibly get a pick off. X comes out onto Dawnbreaker. Follow up. Silence, but the BKB is just immediately popped. Demonic Purge slowing him down even through the BKB, but it's a return stun. Stun will follow up onto Shiro. In comes Planet, but he'll just immediately die. We'll buy back 3-person buyback from EHOME. They're really trying to make this fight happen. If ShenZhen can make their way out there with no casualties, well, that's possibly just GG. With Roche to boot, they have to contest EHOME. All the buybacks, 3 buybacks committed. And ShenZhen just walked their way out. Roche is possibly going to die before they get there. They're trying so fast to get over, but it's too slow. Aegis will go to the PA. Cheese onto the Dawnbreaker. And it's an Aghanim's Blessing. Blur upgrade. Every time you get a kill, refreshes your abilities. Does it refresh all your abilities? Let's just look. Her abilities are refreshed. That means this Fan of Knives is also going to be refreshed every time they get a kill. 31k gold down now. Let's see. Gaben still says a 3% chance. I think Gaben is an EHOME fan because the situation is very dire for EHOME at the moment. Shiro pretty much stacked. He's going to go in for a Divine Rapier. He's realizing this is the last chance he has. He has to be able to burst this PA in a stun in the duration of maybe bird stuns or a concoction. Sort of all hiding on this bottom lane, EHOME, and yeah, they sense that there's a rotation coming. They catch them underneath the wards. Actually, that's not their wards. Do they have any wards that saw that coming? Maybe this ward on the mid lane did just scout them momentarily, but maybe they just got the feeling that they were being hunted. ShenZhen with the smoke. Looks like it will just be immediately dispelled. Krakow was more interested in farming creeps at the moment. EHOME are incredibly blind on the map right now, with 2 lanes being pushed in by the super creeps. They have this 1 ward in the mid lane, but otherwise than that, they just don't see anything. On the flip side though, ShenZhen have these 2 high ground wards. They have the creeps pushing in. They see exactly where EHOME are at. So there's no surprises coming for them. Bako even backpacking the BKB at the moment, knowing that he has the Aegis. Will switch it in if he dies. If he dies, that is. I'm not sure they've got the damage now to do it. No Rapier just yet. There goes another tier 2. And look at this Dawnbreaker as well. He is almost as fat as the PA. 32k net worth. With the overwhelming blink, BKB nullifier AC. He's almost dealing as much damage in these fights as the PA. You end up taking the triple stifling daggers. A little bit more control, but just it is a fair bit of burst if they're staying on top of each other as well. Good at farming. Good at continuing the farming up as you use those triple daggers. Zeal trying to scout with the Aghanim's birds. Get a little bit of vision around the edge of the fight. He'll go on a little bit of a scouting mission with these birds. Not really see anything too much, but into the base they go. Smoke comes up. Kaiko's leading the charge. Dolm's in there with the overwhelming blink, and Planet has to try and get away. Force Staff will assist him to get out from the coddle.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Echo's going to try desperately to delay this push with the Illuminates, but I don't think he can do enough. With the Wraith Pact on the deck, all damage is going to be reduced by 30%. I don't think they can get through him if that is down. Golem just running through. Down goes 1 Rax. Lotus Orb comes out. Both birds die. Is there a resummon? Yes, there is, but now this is it. No more resummon after this for another 105 seconds. And the 3rd Rax, this is the target now. 35k down. Kaiko has no fear. He's in the front line. A minute still on Aegis. Shiro desperately trying to get the stun. He's going to charge up the concoction. Out comes the Demonic Purge. will jump in, Planet with the BKB and the Unleash. They get the pick off on the Dawnbreaker. But it's a buyback, and the Solar Guardians coming on back through. Will pop the BKB, getting on to work on the Echo on the backlines. Zeal just trying to back away. The Alchemist is trying to run too. Quaco is doing too much damage, and Shiro is left all alone in the middle of this fight. He will go down with no buyback. The Hex will come out on the PA, but it's a little too late. And GG is called. Divine Rapier, I think, was eventually collected on Alchemist right at the end for that last fight, but it wasn't enough. Game 1 going to ShenZhen. And EHOME, a little bit outclassed in this first match.